Any friendly neighborhood terror bears gonna come out to play today? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 7 of Heavenly Delusion. Last episode was a lot. I mean, on top of the terror bear and everything, we also had sexual assault, which is not really great. Luckily, nothing progressed to any notable level before it was stopped, but still. And luckily, the perpetrator, I can't remember her name, she did apologize. It was hectic. It was a lot. And it was uncomfortable, for sure. But we have moved on from that. Let's just move on. Weird anime shit. A lot of anime had shit like that for some fucking reason. I don't understand. I've never understood it. But let's move back into the monsters, the mysteries, and the exciting revelations, because that's what this series does best. It does best when it's just kind of giving us this unique situation and recontextualizing it shortly after. And I'm very curious as to, we still don't know what the deal with the stone, or whatever you want to call it, that was inside the body was. But yeah, I assume we're going to find out soonish, or at least start to look into that. And we know the one scientist now knows that somebody has been in the lab with the babies. But one thing to go into here before we begin is that we're also going to be going back today and watching the post-credit scene for episode 6. There was also one we missed from episode 3, but I feel like that one may not be as relevant anymore. That was probably relevant to earlier episodes, probably episode 4 and everything, but we don't need to go back to that now. We're going to watch the episode 6 post-credit scene and then move on to episode 7. So I'm going to probably try to check, provided I remember, after each episode moving forward, because I don't know which episodes have post-credit scenes, but apparently the one from episode 6, I guess, might be important. Usually I just don't think about checking those, you know? When I'm watching, like, when the credits start rolling, I'm thinking that's the end. I don't usually think to check for a credit scene. And I know there's a lot of anime that do that, but it's just like, well, just have it before the credits. You can have one final scene before the credits. It's not like it's a Marvel movie or something, in which case a post-credit scene is just kind of like part of the experience. And you know that going in every time. I know it's a dumb thing to complain about, but it's like I just always end up missing them, you know? But let's get into this and see what this episode and the post-credits scene from last episode have in store for us. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So the mysteries continue because we're continuing to search out this immortal order, and we find them. But we also find another group that seems to be against them called the Liviumen. And the Liviumen are run by this person who she was helped by the immortal order, but while she was there for minor wounds, she ended up getting her leg amputated, and we still don't know if there was a reason or not for that. Like, she's assuming it was just, like, done for human experimentation, especially because of something she managed to see while she was there, regarding some male person. Regarding some person that was apparently, like, chopped up to bits and, like, asking for death. But we don't know how much of that is true. In the meantime, we end up seeing that the order is run by this doctor, who's not the doctor they're looking for, unfortunately, but does seem like he's going to probably be important. Because we see at the end, after Kiriko and Maru kill the man-eaters in the basement, which is really just a garage, a parking garage, the Dr. Usami comes up, and he's surprised by the fact that they could kill the man-eater. And responds afterwards with the entire question of, like, or not really question, but, like, just request, I guess. It's like, there's someone I want you to kill. And it's like, I'm sorry, what? Or, what are the exact words he uses? Let me check real quick. Here he is. Is it really dead? And then he looks at them. Here we go. Give me just a second. Yeah, he says, there's someone I want you to kill. Someone I want you to help. So he clearly has to be talking about a man-eater, because, like, he's asking this of them right after he sees that they have the ability to kill man-eaters. He's saying there's someone I want you to kill, and he says someone, not something, which is important. Someone I want you to save, or to help. And this kind of brings up a theory that I've had since early on. And I feel like this almost kind of confirms it, right? I don't remember if this has ever been stated one way or the other, but I've been definitely thinking about it. If it has been stated, I apologize. Sometimes I forget things like you wouldn't believe how easily. But my theory is that are the man-eaters, like, formerly people? Because there was the idea in the first and second episode with the woman who was like, oh, the man-eater ate my son, and then it's like now he's, like, in control or something, or, like, she thought the man-eater, like, at least had, like, her son's consciousness to some degree in it. But what if the man-eaters, just generally speaking, were people at one point? What if this calamitous situation that happened in the past was causing people to mutate into these things? Because where else would these things have come from? But we also know that in heaven, they're, like, I guess, farming baby versions of them. Like, learning how to replicate them, I guess. So, I don't know. Because my thought were that they were just a lab experiment that somehow got out. But maybe they were originally people, and then now they're being experimented on to make new ones. I don't know why heaven would be trying to make new ones, but still. So, I'm very I'm just I'm a bit confused. I don't know what to believe, what to think. I genuinely just I feel like there's a lot of information that we still haven't gotten that's gonna like once we get it make looking back on this a lot more interesting. We're going to definitely have a lot of this recontextualized once we know more. I don't know if this guy, Dr. Asumi or whatever the fuck his name is, I don't know if he's going to be able to like give us a lot of clarity on that or if that's going to still come later once we meet the doctor we're looking for. I don't know. But I'm genuinely curious because that could lead us to some really interesting revelations. Um, but we also see that the Hiriko, the man eater down there, also was able to hypnotize Kiriko into thinking that he was, well, him and Maru were both being killed and consumed by these smaller um, man eaters. And like, I mean, I had no reason to think it was like this hallucination thing at first. Like, I thought it was entirely real. I'm thinking like, oh shit, he's actually lost his arm. He lost the tip of his foot, all his toes and whatnot. Because the thing is, we're introduced to this immortal order, and it's like, oh, they're doing experimentation. I'm like wondering when this is happening. It's like, okay, so they're gonna clearly either get like new limbs in the same way that the leader of the rebel group has, or due to the experimentation that's been going on, they're going to get their body parts somehow grown back. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the realm of possibility. That's the thing. And I was thinking, it's like, okay, it's probably one of those two things, right? I think it would be cool for one of the main characters to have, like, you know, a prosthetic limb, even two of them, because I think that would be like it's just always really cool seeing like main characters in series that are disabled and are shown to be extremely capable, strong, um, completely valid. It's just always awesome. Like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is obviously a big go-to with that with Ed and Al. Um, Ed can definitely be considered disabled due to having one of his arms and legs missing, and Ed or Al is in a suit of armor and can't really feel, so it's kind of equivalent as well. But I mean, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has other characters too who are handicapped because of this, such as Panina. But then it's like you have like Toph and Avatar and so on. It's like I really like that. Toph isn't the main character, but one of the main groups still. And so I'm thinking like, okay, if this ends up changing that part of things, I'd be game for it as long as it's handled respectfully and everything. But it ended up just being a hallucination anyway. And like I said, I don't mind Maru waking Kiriko out by kissing him. Um, because it is a genuine way to like snap someone out of like something like that. And it was probably the only thing he could also think of doing in the moment. And it was clear that that Kiriko didn't mind. He only minded when Maru tried to go in for a second kiss after he was already awake. It's like that don't push your luck, my dude. um but yeah, it was it was pretty wild as a hallucination. And we also had like the scene where it showed Kiriko's the head scar. I don't know if we've seen that before. Like, I mean, outside of, like, obviously when Kiriko was first experimented on in the flashback. Or, had the brain transfer. Not really experimented on, but I I feel like, again, there's a lot of information we're missing. But seeing the scar there is also a bit of a nice touch, because the scar would absolutely still be there. Also, him just like getting out of the tub and standing up butt ass naked in front of Maru, like while telling him off and everything. It's like that's a power move. Also, Maru was so flustered by that, because of course he was. He's like what, 16 years old or so. It's like he's a dumb hormonal kid. Of course he's flustered by this naked body in front of him, like anyone would be. Um, but yeah, this was definitely interesting, and had a lot to discuss in regards to ethical issues within the world and all technology, human experimentation. This episode definitely had a lot of that in it, and I'm all good with that. I like hearing about those kind of things and being able to discuss them within reactions. But I think we're I think we are going to start getting some big revelations next episode. It just feels like, one, it's about time we do, considering this is a single season show right now. And on top of that, I feel like this doctor seems important. I don't Maybe he knows the other doctor. Maybe they've worked together or something. I could not tell you. But I'm very, very curious. And I definitely want to see where this ends up going. So, I guess at this point, we'll just have to wait till next week to see what happens. Um, yeah, this was a good one. Definitely got me thinking. Definitely got me to really rant a bit, but that's not always bad. Ranting is not always a bad thing. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What did you think of this episode? What did you think of the ethical questions that it posed? What do you think of the hallucination situation? Like, did you think it was real at first too? Let me know all your thoughts on that and more down in the comments below. And as always, no spoilers. I do not want to be spoiled. I do not want to know what's coming up next. So, again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.